Hey guys, it's Jasmine from Paint the Grain. I wanted to show you our next Mini Maker box. This is for the month of December going into January. This one is actually a pretty simple paint, but it's something that's going to last you all year long. It's basically an organizer, and in these boxes, in these little empty crates that you see whenever you get yours, are going to have these little mini rectangles, which this is whiteboard. So you'll be able to use an expo marker and then they'll stick in there. I don't want you to put them in just yet because once they're in, they may be a little hard to take out. We're gonna glue them in. These don't need to be painted, but all of these letters will come apart. You have in your kit, you have a black color and a very light gray color. If you want to use different other different colors, feel free to. It's totally up to you, but like I said, this one's actually going to be a really simple paint. We don't need to paint the inside, but I will paint the outside and then the letters. So because these squares, inside the squares are going to be the white color, what I want to do is I want to paint this border black. When you're painting it, I'll show you how to paint it, but just be careful you don't want to get any paint inside here, so that because we have to make sure that these are going to fit really nicely. Okay, so you're going to take your sponge and your black paint. You can slide, if it's a bigger part, kind of slide from the inside out, but when you get to the edges where they are small and skinny, you're gonna wanna hop like a bunny, okay? I'm gonna do one coat of these with the black. It just depends, it's total preference. If you like it to be solid color, and you'll see once it all dries, you'll see all the black soak into the wood. If you want it to be solid color, give it 2 coats, maybe 3 coats. But I like that wood grain showing through for mine. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna give it 1 coat. So when you're on those skinnier parts, hop up and down just to make sure that you don't have too much paint on your sponge. You're dipping and then you're always taking out. And then you can, so you just wanna hop up and down, because just to be careful to make sure there's no paint going into the boxes, but then to kind of even it all out, you can slide it, okay? Because the color of this border is so dark, if paint gets over the edges like on the outside, it's okay. You won't see it. So like I said, super simple paint. And this project won't take too long, and all of you guys are practically experts at this time. So you can see parts of the wood, of that wood grain shows through. I absolutely love the wood grain, the dark and the wood grain look. I think it's beautiful. So I'm gonna try to keep that just like that, okay? So we'll set that aside to dry. If you wanna give yours a second coat, get your letters out and then come back to it, okay? And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the light gray color and a different sponge. And if you're new to us, welcome. But most of you, I don't think we had too many new ones this month pop in. I do see some new ones coming in for the next month, just because there are probably a lot of gifts for the month of December. So what you're doing, you're hopping in here and you're always taking some out, and with all the letters you are going to want to hop up and down. Some of them may be a little delicate, so just be careful with that. Hopping up and down very, very lightly. These you will want to give it 2 coats. Because what I did with majority of them, I kind of connected the letters, just to make it easier when you paint, and glue, and just to make sure everything's nice and even. Did I even tell you what this is? I think you have an idea, but just in case, just in case, it's an organizer. It's a weekly organizer. So like your most important things, whether you have a test coming up or you have something to study for, you can write it in these, on these little whiteboards. I figured, maybe, it's your week to, what is TE? Oh, notes. maybe it's your day to let the trash out or do the dishes or I don't know, feed the dog. So I figured that would be such a nice way to remind you, so it's something you can hang on your door or maybe next to your desk. But this is definitely for you, and then you can just either, you know, you can erase it, or if it's something you do every day on a certain area on a certain day, you can keep it on there. There's also a different square, which is here, which is an extra square, and I just labeled that notes. So, you know, I don't know what you want to put notes for. And my kids would put notes for save money for AirPods, or I don't know, something. Or remind mom to buy pizza this weekend. I don't know. Whatever you guys want to put in there. But I think it's a nice size for you because, you know, you guys are all younger. And it's a nice size that you can handle, but then also use. And you really shouldn't have too much to-do list, but the things that are helpful too for you. So I'm just going around giving everything a second coat. The key to painting with Paint the Grain, at least with the way we do it, is to use very, very light coats. So you want to give everything a very light coat so that it dries faster, it doesn't gloop. I think I did this one twice. There, just in case. Okay. Now this other piece that you have left over, this is your backing. And we've used this before, but if you're newer to us, we're just gonna take these two pieces, glue them together, and then glue this to the back, and then you're gonna have your string, which you're gonna attach to. Now, if it's something you don't wanna hang up, you won't be able to see it. If you wanna kinda just lean it on a desk, you can do that too. So I'm gonna go ahead and begin gluing these on. If you wanna go ahead and do a second coat on the black, you can. It should be nice and dry. If you want me to wait for you, so go ahead and just pause me. If not, we're gonna go ahead and glue on the dry erase board. You should have in your kit a baby wipe. If you have a baby wipe, or if you have a baby wipe at home, there may be like some just extra little oozes, because whenever I cut these, I seal them and I protect them, just so it doesn't get burn marks, and then I take a baby wipe and I kind of wipe things off. But sometimes the edges of these, you're gonna see it has a little bit of that char look. Don't use the back. I had a hard time with these. So remember, I think on one project I gave you the option, because the back is chalkboard and the front is the whiteboard. We're gonna use the whiteboard on these because these gave me a hard time. So we're gonna use, my intention was to use the whiteboard, but I think in the video I gave you the option, hey, if you want to use the back, by the way, it's a chalkboard, but that's not an option this time because my machine just needs some cleaning, and that's what I'm gonna be doing next week. Taking that entire thing apart and giving it a good cleaning, getting it ready for next year. But actually, probably when you get these, it's gonna be 2023, so Happy New Year. Okay, so you're gonna take a square. If you want to wipe it down either now or after, that's totally up to you. You can kind of see it does come off if you have little marks on yours. Before I packaged them up, we try to really make sure that there wasn't too many marks, but like I said, sometimes the edges char. You can put dots of glue inside your squares here, maybe 5, or you can put them on the back, wherever you want to put them, and then they will just sit snugly in there. So it's probably easier to put them inside the opening, just so you don't get any, and then just kind of push them in. If it's a little snug, some of the edges may have had a little bit of that peeling from the back. Just kind of give it a, there goes mine, yeah, just kind of give it a little gentle push and it'll come out. But this way, if you put the glue dots, and all you need is 5, you don't need that many on here, you'll have less less issues with glue on your fingers. Oh, that's too many. That was 6, not 5. Oh, see, I see this one's gonna be. There we go. 2, 3, 4, 5. Stick that in there. Perfect. Okay. So that's that. Some of us have paint on our fingers. So we'll let that dry really well. Really push those down. Okay. And you have your dry erase board. So at the top, it's gonna say my week. Okay, we're gonna give it a couple of dots. I always just kind of lay them down, make sure if you want to eyeball it or measure it with your hands, or if you have a measuring tape, you could do that. I like to eyeball everything. When you're using the small letters, give everything teeny tiny little drops, and once you set it, forget it. Right? Set it and forget it. You guys gotta tell me what you got for Christmas and or Hanukkah. And make sure you share your beautiful pictures with us, okay? So once you get it, you can press it down a little bit. Don't move it around too much, because I have found if this glue drips onto someplace where you don't want it to, it will leave, it'll like do something to the paint. It's really obnoxious. But for all the other letters, it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then notes. Now, if you want to begin your Sunday, if you want to do Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then notes, or Monday, Tuesday, totally up to you. That's why I was going to do a stencil where it was going to be all together. But then I thought, you know what? Everybody's different when they're doing, their calendar. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Typically for school, Monday is like your day of the week. But, sometimes Sunday is officially the first day of the week, but not school-wise. So whatever you're comfortable with, go ahead and just stick those on. When you're using these, I don't know if we've ever used these before, but I always like to just set things up the way they're gonna go, okay? I like the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday just for the kids. This is gonna be Alicia's, so she can start to say, hey, these are the dates that I have to feed our rabbit, or these are the days I'm going to help with the dishes. Even though she doesn't really do the dishes, she helps her older sisters. So give everything a teeny tiny little drop, and then just stick it where you want it to go. Apparently I painted both sides of that T. A couple dots on the W. Thursday, Monday, I am doing this correct, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, yeah. The Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday are connected. At least they should be. If they fall apart on you, because the connection to them is tiny, you'll be okay. Just refer back to the picture. Okay. I can't wait for you guys to get these. Now notes can be a little tricky. The word notes, just because they're smaller. I did try to thicken them up a whole lot more. Okay, that looks good. I like to make sure everything is right where it's gonna go, so then I lift and then lift, give it a couple glue drops, and stick. Lift, a couple glue drops, and stick. Come on. And then lift. Oh shoot, I lifted my O. Oh, now it's stuck to my finger. Okay, there we go. A drop on the E, a drop. Because they're so tiny, guys, I can't guarantee that you're going to not get glue on your fingers. You could. I'm sure you have in the past, and you know exactly how to take it off by now. Okay, so that's it. These should, hopefully this is nice and straight. Yeah, my Thursday's a little crooked, that's okay. But I think it's so cute. I hope you guys love it. Now we're going to do the backing. So this teeny tiny rectangle, you can give it a couple drops on the back, stick it to one side of the bigger rectangle, and then just kind of give that a squeeze for a few seconds. And then this is where we're gonna hang our twine. So you'll get twine in your kit as well. I would recommend putting the twine through the holes first, because sometimes it's a little harder to see or to kind of push through. So go ahead and do that first. Give it 2 knots on one side, and then, or you can, I guess it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you do it, so as long as it's something that's gonna hold. So that'll be like there on the opposite side. I don't want it to be too long, but I'll give you enough, and then you can decide if you want it shorter than the twine that you have in the space that you have. You can give it 2 knots on one side, 2 knots on the other, or if you want to feed them through both holes, you can do that too, and then give it a knot at the top. That's probably the easier way. And then what I like to do is I'll put glue here, a couple glue dots here, and then I'll just turn this over and stick this to the back. And then that way, hopefully it's even. If you want to line it up, you can. Just line all this, yeah. Should be nice and even. And then just hold that down for a few seconds. And then, should be good to go. Just let it set. And then I always like to give it a tug, just to make sure it's not going anywhere. There we go, okay. And there is your sign for end of December, beginning of January. I hope you guys love it. I hope you guys are loving these projects, and make sure you tag us on social media so we can see your finished projects. Happy New Year.